generation is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Sharing the love, spreading the light in real time. Friday night love stream.
Very happy to have a guy we instantly resonated with. Unbiased and on the fence. I'm talking about Shane C. Robinson. And his purpose is to rise above the worldviews that are designed to separate us so we can unite as one.
Sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and I think Unbiased and on the Fence is a really, really good title for your show, because you are in the central point when you're unbiased and on the fence. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're indecisive. It means you are taking the central point and you're seeing the multiple perspectives.
Unbiased and on the fence.
If you haven't checked Unbiased on the Fence, go and check his channel out. You might like it.
This is Dan Holfeld from Talk is Cheap, and you're listening to Unbiased and on the Fence with Shane Robinson.
If this much sincerity enters your life, come to this much. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't believe anything, I don't disbelieve anything. I'm willing to look at everything. You will become a sensible human being.
Have you checked out our website?
Visit us on the web at UOTF.net. You're listening to The Love Stream.
All around the world in real time.
This is Shane with Unbiased and On the Fence. You're listening to the Friday Night Love Stream.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Happy New Year, you guys. 2021 already, can you believe it? And I have Sherry on with me. Happy New Year, Sherry.
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody.
Man, I tell you what, when I think of us doing that last holiday video, like right after, it was like right around New Year last year, it doesn't seem that long ago, you know what I mean? It seems like this past year has flown by. I had expected to actually do a couple more videos like that this year, but gosh, it just flew by.
Yeah, it went by so quick. I got to tell you, I have to thank you for that holiday video and that yesterday video and the Ready Player One video. I love them so much.
Oh, me
I mean,
too.
I literally can be like down and out or something and turn that on. It just makes me smile. It was so cool. It was so neat.
You know what? I think a lot of times we forget about all the cool magical synchronicities and stuff. You know, we just get to kind of focusing on whatever's right in front of us and forget about all the times that, you know, our higher help came in and we had a little miracle or some little, I don't know, manifestation occurred. And, you know, we forget about all that stuff. And, you know, I'm realizing that one of our downfalls of being sort of one-track minded individuals is that we can use that to our benefit and focus on, you know, manifesting happy things and a positive, happy direction rather than in fear and stuff. And you've come a long way you've dealt with all sorts of stuff like that. And, you know, and when I was talking to you about this past year and how you work in the medical field, and you've really been blessed with your jobs and everything, you know. I was actually surprised I got you on here, Sherry, because I was thinking, I was figuring you'd be working for sure, especially on the holidays. It seems like you're always working on the holidays. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I actually did. I worked Christmas Day and 16 hours. And then I worked New Year's Eve 12 hours. But every day's a holiday, right? So.
Yeah. Even when it comes to working. Did you work today, though?
I did, because that's what, speaking of being blessed with my job, I'd been at one job, it was part-time with 2 12-hour shifts and then an 8-hour shift. So it was like 32 hours. And over there, the deal is if you work 36 hours, you get paid for 40. Nice. So they did bless me with that and put me 4 hours where I can kind of work them wherever. And I've been working them Friday from 3 to 7. So I actually will get off in time to listen to the Love Stream now instead of being 3 to 11. So when I would just pick up that whole shift a lot, because I substitute for people a lot. So
awesome. Well, I'm glad, because we've been missing you on Friday nights. I know you listen later, or you'll listen at work, or sometimes you'll call in if you're not busy or whatever. But
and that doesn't go well. Someone always asks for something or something.
That's right. Did we ever tell the story about the patient? I don't know how much you can talk about, but the patient that said she saw you sleeping on the TV or something in her sleep. Are we allowed to talk about any of
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, that was so weird because that was back with with the Paranormal Frequencies show was going on, I think. And I was at work, and it's a psychiatric facility with the geriatric people, and I love them. They say the funniest thing. But one night I went in to give this lady some medicine real late, and she's like, she said, I saw you talking on the radio. And it's interesting because she was so elderly that I
Or
don't
she
know,
said
she's
sleeping
used
on
to
the
radio.
radio, didn't she? Yep, she said
Oh,
sleeping.
she did. It was after a
Yeah.
BQH.
Yep, because it was your BQH session and you didn't put two and two together. I'm like, wait a minute. She said she saw
Right,
you
right. Yeah.
sleeping on TV. I'm like, you were just like, it looked like you were like sleeping on there, and you
Yeah,
were
because I
talking.
thought it was like Paranormal Frequencies thing. Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly right. You're exactly right.
That was a
Because I had
trip.
to think about it. And then when it hit me, I was like, oh my gosh.
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So that really really confirms what you say all the time about, these dementia patients really have one foot in this other world because clearly she was seeing the airwaves. How the heck was she seeing that? You know what I mean? Or maybe she was out of body and she traveled because you were like at your nurse station or something watching it on the screen, right? So maybe she just went out of body and was looking over your shoulder at the screen too or something?
No, I think that she saw it like while it was going on because it was like the night before something or that day or something.
Well, I think we had recorded it and then it was airing while you were at work. And so she saw it while it was actually premiering. That's what flipped me out about it because she said she saw it around the same time it was premiering, but you were at work, so you didn't get to jump in the chat very much. You remember?
Yeah, that's so fascinating.
I know, that's so weird, but man, so many
They're
little
really
things.
connected.
Yeah, so many little things happening like that. But also being in the medical field and really being lucky about, I don't know how much you want to talk about like face coverings and stuff like that, but you're really lucky
right.
when it comes to that kind of stuff, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's so weird because what I've been trying to do, I actually probably different than a lot of people in this group I've had some trouble since 12/21, kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm having some trouble here emotionally. I'm like all over the place. And then so I realized that if I could look at what's going on with my life right now, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been accidentally working at a hospital that the it's ran by these three men that are they're really hilarious. I don't know how to explain it, but they don't want nothing to do with the mask thing or anything like that. They're just like, oh no, we ain't worry about all that, and it's like, really, what hospital in the United States
right
or in the world even has something going on like that? And it's just it's like a plantation home on this beautiful property with all these oak trees and a great big pond, and they have horses and dogs and all. Just it's really beautiful, and they have a patio outside with the big wooden rocking chairs, and it's like really nice at work. It's like a park or like you're on a trip.
Yeah, that sounds really nice, especially now.
It's also I've worked agency nursing for 100 years, and like I work every department, and it's kind of a hard job. Like you're on your feet and you're mental and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like it is really the easiest job that I've ever had. I mean, it has its moments, but for the most part, I'd say 99% of it is really laid back. So
that's awesome.
I'm lucky, I'm blessed, and it's just really neat because I'll try looking at all of those things, and then all of a sudden it kind of puts me in a better frame of mind.
Yeah. So how have you felt since the 12/21 thing? Have you? Because I've noticed, I've heard a mixture. Like I felt really excited, but I've heard other people having sort of a hard time with it and stuff. Like, well, it's kind of typical this time of the year anyway, but for a lot of people, it's just kind of a downtime with the short days and all that. But how's it been for you?
Well, I kind of felt like like I said, like my emotions were kind of all over the place. Like I just, I've had a lot of anxiety and things like that. And I noticed mostly like with my son, you
Hmm.
know, this is a good example of it. It's like I love him so much, and poor thing, he like has to feel me out. Like if he calls and says, "Hey, mom, can I get $20?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, baby, I'm gonna send it right over to you. Our accounts are connected, so I can just zip it right over." And then the next time he calls, I might just go off on him and just be like, Devin, you get these jobs and you have them, and then you don't save any money. And, because he does like welding contracts, so it ends or
Right, right.
whatever. It's a big hot mess. But point is that he really doesn't know when to like approach me, like if he should or not. He kind of tests the water before he goes in for a swim. And I can't blame him, but it made me realize that it would depend on where I was at emotionally whenever I addressed it.
Hmm.
Because it and even if I wasn't in a place, maybe he needed $200 and maybe things were kind of like bill paying time or something like that. And I could just really just say, look, can you wait until payday or whatever? But sometimes I would just like flip out on him.
Hmm.
And he does, but I've just realized just all of a sudden that all of these every position that I've been put in that might seem like a challenge or something,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's for me to be able to like flip my perception on it and make it good.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Even, I try to recognize when I notice things coming up again that are like things that I kind of felt like I dealt with before. And, one time I'm like, well, why is this coming up again? I've totally dealt with this. What's the deal here? And like I went in meditation and I felt like I was told that you're being shown how far you've come. You're being presented with this again to show how it's not a big deal and how much of a big deal it was 1 year ago. And now you're presented with the same thing. So sometimes things come back around just to show us how far we've come. And it's really an optimistic look at, how much we change in a short amount of time. We're changing so much right now. And it seems like I've learned so much more when I can get out of victim mentality and take challenges as a challenge or, something to learn something and experience. You know what I mean?
It's so funny. I mean, I have to make a confession. Like when you used to say stuff like that, I'd get so offended. I'm like, but I'm not acting like a victim. These things are really happening to me. And then it's it's just like on that Katy Perry video that came out, it's called It's Not the End of the World.
Mm-hmm.
And she's basically saying it's just kind of a time for a new beginning. And um that's what I thought all along, to be honest, with this
Mm-hmm.
the 1221 thing. I do believe that it's a great possibility that this 2020 1221 was like 12/21/12. I do believe there was something off in the calendars, and I kind of buy that. But I think it was because of the like entrance into the age of Aquarius or whatever. But I'm really seeing it because even they say create your own reality or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
not only do I see these synchronicities and these miracles, like not just connecting people, but they're connecting like circumstances, and the synchronicities are so crazy that they would almost scare me. And now it's getting to where I'm seeing that it's more of a merging of everything, not just people. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just that interconnected, but every situation and it's kind of like the song thing, like you and Vanessa were talking about. I don't really think that it's like to, I had read something someone put like, that if you're not looking at these songs from spirit, you're looking at them wrong, that they're not from God, and you're putting it on something like uh, lust or whatever, like drugs or whatever. But the thing is I think it again is showing us that it's really all about perception and how you feel when you hear it, you know, what
Oh,
emotion it creates.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking about songs now that are just so absolutely positive that I knew before, but I just didn't realize it. Like that "Higher Love" song by Steve Winwood, and it's such a great song, you know. And I'm like, wow, this is such a positive song. How did I not notice it back in the day, you know? But I think a lot of times we have a lot of baggage and we view things differently if it's not from our worldview and things like that. But yeah, I think there does seem to be, and, you know, speaking of that higher love, there does seem to be a higher message in a lot of songs that if you sort of, it's kind of like that with the scriptures though too, isn't it? It's like you can sort of read this surface story and then get into a little doctrine underneath that, but then you can a lot of times dig even deeper and get into some really cool deeper truths and parallels and symbology and stuff like that.
And that's when I always have to bring up how funny it is that I'll bring up that, um, you know, the Michael Jackson thing with the children and all that, that Daniel 12:1, you know, says, um, and in those days shall Michael stand up, the great prince that standeth for the children of thy people, and there'll be a time of trouble like no other, and da 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 da. And it's like, it doesn't say Archangel Michael. And I mean, but that's my perception, and that's what makes me feel good, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing I've been noticing is that the messages that people get in songs will be different for, you know, from you to me. It's like kind of based on um, our history and our experiences and stuff. And I think that's kind of why we all come up with these, sort of like the way Vanessa views all of the song messages, and it like parallels with the way I see it, and it parallels nicely with the way a lot of people see it. But it's like we have this interpretation because of our life experiences. You know what I mean? So it parallels nicely, but I think when we all pick up on the energies coming in, we all view it in different ways, you know, like where someone who maybe does, maybe they do crocheting or something might get symbols of things being knitted together, where, you know, someone else that works with sound might hear it as musical instruments harmonizing. So it's like, it's the same message coming through in these completely different ways. That's why I always recommend people go within and just, you know, kind of get to that point where you can just receive and observe and feel what the energies are telling you and your own experience with, you know, because I really feel like we have a lot of help and it's delivered to us in a way that we'll understand it or that makes sense to us. And then if you've shared enough of your experiences with someone else, you'll know that a lot of times other people don't quite get it. You know what I mean?
Well, I can give you a perfect example of this, and I love this. So this was a long time ago. Vanessa had brought up something about a song. This was way back.
Mm-hmm.
And I had commented and I was like, yes, you know, for me, there's a song by Casting Crowns called The Voice of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask anyone in America and Google, and they say it's about drug addiction. And if you listen to it, I was going through so much fear with stuff like with out of body experiences and some experiences that I had and everything. And please, if y'all get time, go look at a lyric video on that and think of it as if it was about going out of body, the whole thing. Like, it's really interesting if you do, because I totally thought that's what that song was about.
And it fits perfectly, doesn't it? That's neat.
It really does. It really does. It did for me. It was like, it would make me cry every time because
That's a good
it
song,
was
yeah.
like, but I'm just like, that's what it's about. I just know it.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's not, you know, like even if you ask the people that wrote it. But and I felt that way about like A Whole New World, the little Aladdin song. It
Mm-hmm.
was about out of body to me. I still think it is.
Well, even that
And
Silent
one more.
Lucidity song isn't it? I mean,
Oh
I think
yeah.
it was originally. I just didn't understand it, you know. But now I do, and it's so cool. Actually, that lyric video that you sent me, and I ended up sharing it with everyone. This was probably a couple years ago now. But
It was so beautiful.
yeah, that
I
song
still go
became
back to
this
that
whole
video.
new song. You know, it was just renewed in this whole new way, like so many other songs are doing that. Like oh man, there's just so many that are just so beautiful now that I don't know how I missed it, and I guess, I don't know. It's just, you're not aware or something.
Yeah, it's fun, but let me just tell you that you can also take this the other way, because when Vanessa was saying, like, like listen to him from God and all that. So there's certain songs that if you listen to that and then you're like, oh my gosh, what's he telling me? Like, what's spirit trying to say here? So, but like, you gotta figure I'm always listening to like Def Leppard and stuff. So, try that out for a day.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think, it's the perspective you're at with it, and if it feels loving or if it feels fearful, if it's like I don't know, feels like God's out to get you from the lyrics. But you can take one song, like for instance, my mom loved that Police song, "Every Breath You Take," right? But it could totally sound like a stalker singing, like I'm gonna keep an eye on you and stuff. But my mom found it very comforting. She's like, I love that Police song, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. And she felt like it was God, saying, I've got my eye on you, I've got your back. But it could easily feel like, I'm this creepster watching you, right?
That's lovely. In fact, you know what I need to do? The Michael Jackson Halloween special. At the beginning,
yeah.
I didn't know that he wrote that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me, but I'm gonna have to go listen to that again, or maybe not. I'll see. I'll have to see.
Oh, yeah, Norman Rockwell or something.
On that Katy Perry song, there was some of my favorite lyrics to it. It said something about, like, if you're falling off a cliff, think of it as an opportunity to fly. Of course, she worded it better. But, and it talks about throwing all your fears in the fire, and that you can catch a star if the sky is falling down. Let's see how beautiful that is. So I really liked it. I think y'all like it if you go listen to it.
Hey, what's up, Laura? And Go-Kart Bob and Alva and Conscious Evolution.
Robert.
Joanne, what is up? Merry Christmas. Subway Underground, what is up? That's Darby, isn't it? What's up, Darby? Feisty Kitty and Susan's here. Pete. Oh, you're in the chat. What's up, April? Okay. Roxanne. Lorena. Okay. And Miranda, long time no see. I didn't even see the hey mom. What's up, Darby? That's so cool.
Speaking of Darby, I sent her a picture of the Ross's sign. I don't know if y'all have a Ross's, that discount clothing store, kind of like TJ Maxx or Marshalls. It's pretty Mandela affected. You had showed me that, and I was like tripping out. It's really different.
Yeah. The thing is, let me try to find a picture of it. Let's see. Yeah, I was looking at. I don't shop there or anything, but I looked at it. I'm like, no, this did not look like that. And you had sent me this picture that you'd sent me a while back of Janie Lane with the letters opening up now. So we've had letters extending, we've had letters merging, we've had letters like the R's just swooping away and underlining stuff, and the T on Tonka extending. And so we had a lot of merging, a lot of extending, a lot of what I'm noticing now is opening up of letters. So where you have the closed in areas of the O's and the R's and the A's, they're now opening up. And that's what caught my attention about the Ross sign, because you had already sent me that picture of Janie Lane's where the letters had opened up in a weird way. And I was like, yeah, that didn't look like that. I don't think that looked like that before. And then I'm driving by Ross and I'm like, wait a minute, that I don't shop there or anything. I've never been in there. I don't know what they have, but I know that sign didn't look like that before. And when you look it up, it looks like it was a different version at one time, but never the version I remember, which is pretty much like it is now without the breaks in it. Let me pull it
while
up.
you're looking for it, speaking of Darby being in the chat there, if you remember, me and her came up with the fact that, and she's got such a beautiful mind. She always says I teach her so much, but she teaches me so much, and she she really notices these fonts and these changes in these letters. Like, I've told her so many times she needs to make a little video about that. But you know, the extending and there was a merging of letters also, you know, and it's like it really had to do with like an extension or an expansion of consciousness, and then also emerging like into more oneness and more connectedness. And the only thing I could think of with these little openings that comes to mind would be like, you know, people having a more open mind and maybe a more open heart. I don't know.
And you know what I noticed? You know what I noticed since I sent you this picture here was that all of the openings are towards the left. Now, do you remember how we were talking about the left and the right brain, right? And like the people in the left brain aren't very open-minded because, you know, you got to have proof of everything. You know, experience isn't enough sometimes, and you know, a lot of the people that don't see the Mandela effect, it's hard. I know how hard it is. I know what that download is. I know I've experienced the cognitive dissonance of realizing something or just trying to come up with some solution to something changing in an impossible way. But this here, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna let you show that first, but I was just gonna say that it's funny because they have cognitive dissonance. That was never my problem because I'm very gullible. I'm just so open-minded that it's probably not even good for me to be that open-minded. But what happened to me, which I know we haven't really talked about a lot, was that with some of the darker subjects that I'd studied and everything, I just felt like all this stuff was being done by like ritualistic spiritual things.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to kick it and it would keep coming back and it would keep coming back. And then finally, after all of this stuff with this perception that I've been learning and everything, and most of it like from you and Eileen and Michelle and stuff,
mm-hmm.
that I was like, you know, wait a minute. I can choose to believe this other way. You know, I'm just seeing that with everything,
Right.
you know, just like, you know, go ahead. Did you have it ready yet or no? Because I didn't want to like.
Well, I showed the Ross one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know my phone went dark here. Okay. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know if you have anything to put in on that or say.
Oh yeah, and I think there's still a lot of people in the Mandela effect community that are convinced that's something negative going on, and you know, it's like if you go into it knowing what it is already, you're going to just find all of this stuff confirming what it is. So I just recommend if you don't want to look at it positively, at least look at it with an open mind of, well, could it be some other things, and think of different options it could be, and not all negative, because you'll find things that appear negative to you. Like a good example, if I can just throw one in here, is like that Tomorrow song, right? Tomorrow, it's only a day away. When that switched to It's Always a Day Away, you know, that sounds kind of sinister on the surface. To me it did anyway. I don't know if it kind of sounds like that to you, does it? Like,
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying.
Okay, right, okay. So on the surface, that sounded super negative, and then I started looking at it deeper and deeper and deeper, and I was like, wait a minute. When we put something off till tomorrow, it's always a day away. We'll never get it done, right? It's like if you put your happiness off to some future date. That's why I'm so against like setting dates for expecting, you know, something that you don't know what it is. You kind of just put these expectations out there, you know, instead of creating something or having a group or a meeting or a meditation that day. That kind of thing is cool, but just kind of to have a blanket expectation that it just lets you down when you get there. Even if something great happens, if it's still not what you expected, it can just get you down. So I think positive is the way to go.
And what I came up with it was that tomorrow is always a day away. And I've just really learned that, you know, it really is better to be in the now. And if something's going on bad, I'll just try to look around and be thankful for the things that are here right now. Because I look at how things have accidentally lined up so perfectly for me to be in the right place at the right time without even trying.
Yeah. Yeah, with your job and everything. And that's what I'm noticing. It's like, man, I got here by accident. This is out of complete ignorance. Now, I'm going to put this up on the screen. It might take a second for it to get to you, but another one that tripped me out. A Krispy Kreme donut truck was driving by, and I'm like, no way was this like this. No way.
I hope Darby's still in the chat because I wanted to show her that.
Yeah, I hope she is too, because I know she'll notice this. But when I looked at the way the K extended across and created this donut out of the negative space around the dot of the I, that's really cool. That wasn't like that. I would have noticed that. I would have appreciated that. And I can't even, it's so different than what it was. I can't even really tell you how it's different. It's just, it wasn't, I know the K wasn't all like that. And it's funny looking. Can you see it yet?
Yeah, it's cool. That's it. Yeah, it's totally different.
Let's see. Yeah, you guys chime in. Is that what you remember Krispy Kreme logo looking like? That's a trippy one there. Okay, there's another one I wanted to bring up because I'd asked you about this one, and you hadn't even heard the song. So there's a song by Andy Williams called Happy Holiday, and I remember it as having being an S on the end, Happy Holidays. And so, you know, I knew you and your mom were into Christmas music and stuff like that. So when I hit you up and asked you about it, and you were like, no, I've never even heard this song. I'm like, what? And then it made me wonder, like, when I remembered it. And I didn't remember it from being, really young as in my childhood. I only remembered it in my teenage years working at a department store at Christmas time. That's when I first remembered hearing it. When I thought back in my memories, that's as far back as it went. So it's now Happy Holiday. Happy Holiday. No S on the end. So I don't know. Do you guys remember Holiday or Holidays?
And like I said, I didn't know the song, but I love that that song's come into my reality with the holiday stuff. You know, I just love that, all those connections, that every day is a holiday, a holy day, and then now.
Yeah.
But my mom, we had the Christmas music on, it was one of those, my mom puts on those TV channels with the music.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because you had told me about that and everything. And I was like, I have never heard that. And my mom denied ever hearing it. And then whenever we turned that on, it was just maybe a few songs in, and there it was.
Wow.
So I got to, hear the whole thing.
Okay, so it's Andy Williams.
I never heard of him either, just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing's weird for the I'm not a big fan of Krispy Kreme donuts, you guys. So all I know is that it looks weird. And donuts, yeah, I thought donuts was spelled like that too. Donuts. What's with the DOUGH in UTS? Like it's actually dough.
Wait a minute. Really?
Yeah, I was so tripped out by the extended K that I totally missed the dog. Yeah.
That's interesting. But speaking of Christmas songs and all, I got your family a Christmas present, but I didn't mail it yet. But it's coming.
Oh, thank you.
Don't tell them. But are they listening right now? It's a game. It's that little artist that you said that you liked when you were little, Bob Ross.
Yeah.
And it's called Happy Little Accidents, and it's like a game, maybe similar to Pictionary or something. I have no idea. But on the box, he's got his little Velcro hair. I mean, felt hair, and you can feel it. It's so funny. You're gonna love it.
Oh,
he's got a
awesome.
little afro on him and stuff. He's hilarious.
I loved him because when I was a little boy, I had a little Bob Ross afro, and I just felt like, and I loved painting and watching his videos and everything. It was all fun. I loved Bob Ross, so yeah, I love the Happy Little Accidents. Hey, we got the Twin Flame Divine Fire Radio folks here. What is up, Alan and Sandra? Love you guys. And Banjojo, good to see you. Happy New Year, everybody. Maria.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
Okay, so yeah, everybody's agreeing donuts. Yeah, it looks so right when I see like where Banjojo typed it out. It looks right. Donuts. But is that like one of those things where you can see it like through sometimes like drive through? I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
just a
kind of do
shortening
it different.
or like
Yeah.
BBQ.
I don't remember about Krispy Kreme, I'm not sure.
But yeah, it looks funny
'Cause
under the Krispy Kreme, but I don't know. So
But
hard to
I
say.
do know like the synchronicities have just picked up so much to where like I had noticed that I don't really watch TV a lot, and I had went in to sit down. I go sit with my mom for a minute, to just sit by her a minute, and she always has a TV blaring. Well, there was like a sitcom on, and it was just so weird because when on a sitcom, they'll have like different characters and they all have their own little storyline going. It kind of flips through them. And every single one was synchronistic with what was going on in my life right then. And I'm like, what the heck? This is just kind of getting crazy. But this time, instead of being afraid of it, I was able to like laugh at it. And I'm like, this is just so interesting. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I've noticed all sorts of synchronicities. It's just getting crazy to where, even my family's pointing them out. So many jaw-dropping synchronicities of overlaps between conversations, even on the TV and the radio, and then like little telepathic things that's been happening between. I've been spending a lot of time with my son, and like I sent him this direct message. He was just in the other room, but I just sent him that so he needed to come in and log in on my computer to something. And then I heard him coming in there, and he was like, "Hey, I just realized I needed to log in." I'm like, "Yeah, I just sent you the message," but he didn't see the message. He had never seen it, so it was almost like he telepathically picked up on it and just thought of the idea, like it just popped in his head. Maybe it just did, but the timing of hearing his door open right when I sent that message, I don't know. It felt telepathic to me, and he didn't realize. And then he even showed me that it was a new message, and he hadn't viewed it yet. He's like, "Look, I really hadn't seen it," and I'm like, "Yeah, I believe you." But it's cool, and I've noticed so many little things like that picking up.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then I had a neat idea. I don't know if any of y'all want to try this, but this is so cool because, okay, so when you're seeing like 1111 or 333 or 444, and so you'll like maybe Google it and you look and you see what it means and stuff. So I started thinking, okay, so those are synchronicities that we see and look up the meaning and stuff of it. So what about little synchronicities or signs that I always see? And you know how they say, row, row, row your boat, life is but a dream. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some of the synchronistic things I see in my life and kind of look up the dream sign of them. And it was so cool because they all like, I don't know, just it really meant something. I got messages from it, and they were beautiful. It was beautiful.
That's
So
cool.
I was
That's
like,
clever.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was really neat,
Oh my
And
gosh! I just
oh, go
realized
ahead.
another synchronicity. Bob
What?
Ross,
Uh-huh.
the sign.
No, I did too, but I didn't say it because you were talking. Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
I just looked down
That's
and saw
kind of
you.
stuff I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's so weird. That's so weird. Yeah. So you already
So,
bought the Bob Ross thing, right? So when I brought it up, that's just weird. That's funny.
oh yeah, I was trying to I won't get into it, but I had just a huge I made it fun and I made it a game, and it's really like this for me. It seems like every year there's something that's kind of a challenge for me with presents, and my grandson's really into Legos right now, and his mom and dad don't really like to get it for him because they're expensive and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Oh, let me tell you, I had just so much fun with that. I had someone rob me on eBay, but I got refunded. I paid like triple the price for something that he wanted. But I mean, I have fun with it. I don't know how to explain it. I made it a game to pull off what I had to do. But getting back to the dream stuff, it's so weird because today, and it was just kind of an unlikely gift. There was a gift waiting for me from one of my bosses. And I was just, you open that up, it's usually like a cup holder or something. I don't know, something, that they buy that they could give to anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And what I got I have it here. I know I can't really show anybody, but it's a box of cards. It kind of looks like tarot cards, but it is called Dream Decoder cards. And
Wow.
it's pretty neat because, like, say it has a little book. So say you wake up and you dreamed that you were naked or something, okay, like giving a speech. Okay, so what you do is you look in the little book. It's a real quick little flip through book just to see what card would fit your dream, and then you know which one to like go to or whatever, and they have like the whole meaning of it on there. And it's so interesting because I just kind of thought about a few dreams that I had and looked at the stuff on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that like totally fits, you know? And I don't know, it's pretty cool. Just like for instance, one thing that's been going on in my life that I've been dreaming about a lot lately is that years ago I had got like some veneers for my teeth, and they said, oh, that'll last like 17 to 20 years. And I'm like, oh, well, that's forever, right? Well, that was when I was 28 and I'm 51, and I've been having to fix a lot of things and go a lot. And I had dreams about my teeth like falling out and everything. And I like was like, oh my God. So I go and it was in here, and I look it up.
Wow.
And it said that the meaning of it was fear of aging or losing your beauty and things like that. And I was like, wow, you know, like maybe am experiencing some things like that. I mean, I'm 51, you know, I mean, like things are changing. Everything's a little bit lower than it was 10 years ago, you know what I mean? So it's like, wow, you know, this thing, it's really, really neat. But I was thinking if somebody in the chat room had any really interesting dreams or something, I could see if one of them fit, if anybody feels like it at some point tonight.
Yeah, you
Just
guys,
put it in
that's a
there in
great
all
idea.
caps.
Yeah, put it in all caps. Hey, what's up to propagate the light? And oh, Nancy, Happy New Year.
Nancy, I love you, Nancy. I miss you, girl.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's cool. Dream interpretation. Let me think.
Yeah.
Man, I wish
I
I
thought
had
that's pretty cool. Well, I mean, like all this, a few of the things on there is like being late. They even had like dreaming about UFOs, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? Because I've had multiple dreams about UFOs, and it said something about like, let me just grab it, about wanting to be in another reality. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. That sounds like me, you know, like wanting to, because it is, I'm always into like the out of body stuff and everything like that, you know.
Yeah. Happy New Year, Jody.
Kind of neat. Let's see, where is that UFO one?
Yeah, I think the only way you can actually either email me an image, or you can paste the link in there if you have it. Talking to Alan and Sandra.
Oh, how are they doing?
Dinosaurs trying to get Feisty Kitty.
In a dream? Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Let's see what they got.
It's actually a reoccurring dream.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Let's see. We have snakes and animals. Disasters.
Dinosaurs.
Lips.
That
Well, that's some neat stuff in here, but I don't see any dinosaur. Of course, that's how it'll be, huh? No. That'd be about right.
Is it a pretty big book? You said it's cards?
Well, there's 60 cards, so you know, I guess you gotta try to find something that fits your thing. I don't see any dinosaurs, Feisty Kitty.
You see any monsters chasing anybody? Animals of any kind?
They have, that's what I was looking for. They have animals, I know. Let's see. I should have got a few out that looked interesting. Oh, I got numbers. Body parts. Oh my. Apocalypse.
Reptilians, probably. Maybe the fight or flight part of the brain. Are dinosaurs considered reptilians? I think they're considered avian, aren't they? Like they're like big chickens. I'm just playing. I don't know.
Superhero powers, deceased people, water, social media and cell phones, castles, insects and reptiles.
That's pretty close.
Let's see.
Let's just see what it says for fun.
Okay. Within the animal kingdom, reptiles and insects carry a strong symbolic charge with largely negative overtones. In dreams, they typically represent worries or threats in your waking life. A reptile can indicate emotional coldness or possibly a situation or relationship that you would benefit from dealing with a rationally rather than emotionally way. A snake, traditionally symbolic of deviousness, could be a sign that greater honesty is required, either from yourself or from someone you're involved with. Insects tend to represent irritating problems or distractions. A spider can symbolize a small issue that could become larger if attention isn't paid to it. However, spiders can also denote patience or the success attainable through skill and hard work. If any creature in a dream takes monstrous form with exaggerated size or features, it's probably about coming to terms with your shadow side or aspects of yourself that you might find hard to accept. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not really.
Shout out to Joyce, Walter. That's a great idea, Walter. What about looking up dragons? Is there any dragons instead of? They're kind of like dinosaurs.
I'm like so scared that it's gonna not gonna have anything they say. Can they have animals? Let's see. Birds. I did find the UFO one, and I found the religious figures.
I gotta show this here. This is I guess you can wait until it pops up on the screen for you. This is talking about synchronicities. Alan got everything Bob Ross for Christmas. He just sent me this picture. Yeah, it's no mistakes, just happy accidents. It's Bob Ross's head on a T-shirt.
Crazy. And so he didn't know, huh?
No, that's hilarious.
They just came in. You told him we were talking about that earlier, or he was
no.
there?
He heard us talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's 3 Ross. What's up with
I
Ross?
thought he just said it randomly, and I was like, whoa.
No, he said it because it's a synchronicity for him, you know? I mean, gosh,
yeah.
After all these years, you know. I got that as a kid, a Bob Ross painting kit as a kid.
It's so cute.
Yeah, that shirt's awesome.
I did find, I don't see any dragons, but I did find, I mean, you know, if y'all want to hear at some point, like they have robots, aliens, religious or spiritual figures, flying without wings. And this one I just found that I didn't know that was in there. I know a lot of you know my history. Actors or celebrities. I'm going to look at that one later myself. That's weird.
Okay, how about any giant roosters having someone trapped on a roof?
Let me see if I can find that card. No, I think that was.
You flip the card. You're like, oh my gosh, here it is.
I wish I could have thought like that. I'm not as funny as you. That's a good one though. Let's see.
I always dream about black widows and bare feet.
Oh wow. Well, the spider one was in there.
The spider kind of fits.
Bare feet. Well, it had body parts. Let me find that. Okay.
Oh, you got
Here
the
we
paint.
go.
Oh, she got the paint kit and the canvas for him. For Bob Ross stuff.
They still have that? You know what? I saw on eBay and I almost wanted to buy it. It was a Willy Wonka chocolate bar making kit with the golden wrappers and everything. And it was like old from like long ago. So, I mean, the paint kit, they still make that, or it was like,
Oh yeah, they still make it. I've seen it. Yeah, they had a huge company, so I'm sure it carried on after he passed away. Yeah.
He's passed away.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Oh well, no. I'm just thinking he might be one of your spirit guides.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, y'all both had that red hair like that.
Yeah, matter of fact, I had this little, it was this little drawing that I had on my wall growing up with this little boy that looked like me from the back with this little orange afro, like kneeling and praying at the cross, and this, like the silhouette of the sun. And it was just like a little kid's drawing, but yeah, I always loved that little drawing.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. Well, okay, the bare feet one. That this actually has a bare foot on the card on the front, so that's interesting. It says, body parts represent aspects of your personal identity, and the clue to their meaning lies in the association that you have with the specific body part. For example, if you dream of arms, this could represent your ability to reach out to others. Hands suggest attention to detail. Legs indicate your ability to move forward. So that could be one. Feet are your foundation, or what keeps you grounded. That's nice, huh? Heads represent your intellect, and necks are the connection between your physical body and your mind. Blood's a symbol of your essence of life energy, and muscles are your strength. Hearts point to your relationships, and bones your support system. If a body part's injured, or something's preventing you from expressing the quality represented by that specific body part, if you dream about skin, hair, nails, or other body parts that you shed, this suggests the need to let go and move on from a situation or mindset that may be holding you back.
Wow. So when it has it really has a lot of information.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. I really thought it was pretty neat, you know?
Yeah, that's a great gift.
I thought so. Speaking of gifts, did anyone else get a stimulus in their bank account today?
Stimulus day? No, I don't know about I know both of my kids didn't, but I got one, and I heard a few other people that already gotten one, and I think if they haven't, it's going to be there by Tuesday or something. Yeah, $600.
Has anyone seen any of the memes yet? Like, I know I got one that I said, I got the $600 stimulus thing. Because, remember last time I was like last on the list, like literally out of everyone. Right, it was like months and months. So anyway, my mom had said, I got this. And I was like, I look and it was there. And I was like, wow. So I spread the word to a few people, you're checking out. Then they start sending me memes back that says stuff like, oh, well, I heard that they were giving all the ugly people their stimulus check first.
Oh,
and wait,
must be why I got mine. I'm just playing.
I was trying to think what the other one was. It was so funny.
I wouldn't have known if I didn't check, though. My sister was the one who told me. Well,
yeah, I had actually sent you an email about it, and of course, you always know everything. It's like I don't even. That's why I call you Quick Drama Girl. Like you always, if I try to tell you something informative, you already know it and more about it. But that's okay.
Well, I knew if anybody wouldn't have looked, it'd probably be you and your mom. So.
That's so funny though. But see, I didn't know that you'd sent that email when I emailed you.
Right.
Anyway. All right. But so just for fun, do y'all care if I read the one about dreaming about UFOs? Because I dream about them a lot. I've had a lot of dreams like that. Or is that, I don't want to change the subject or nothing, but.
Can you go back to what spiders meant again?
Oh, yeah. It was really good. No, look, I'm so sorry, but I got like, oh, there it is. God help me out. Okay. A spider may symbolize a small issue that could become larger if attention isn't paid to it. However, spiders can also denote patience or the success attainable through skill and hard work. You know, they work on their little web and all.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're kind of combining that with, oh, wow, you are on top of that, Feisty. You remember it. Okay, let's see. Exposed and vulnerable foundation was the feet.
Or maybe just about your foundation or moving forward, it said, I think.
Or being patient in your foundation.
Yeah. See,
I
it
think
can mean
whatever
you think.
Yeah, I think those times like that, you kind of just think about it, and whatever you feel like your heart goes with. That's what I do. Like, yeah,
I think that's the best way, you know.
Because so many times we'll ask everybody else what they think, and then let their opinions affect. But we should just go with what resonates. Because it was given to you by your team. They'll give you the feeling. I feel like that.
No,
I didn't know that
totally
before,
agree.
though. I didn't know that. I always go to external sources for confirmation, but I didn't know you can just really rest in that and relax, and you'll still get the external confirmations, but I think initially you just kind of know. You know what I mean? You feel it in your heart.
I just really thought that this was a really nice gift to give me, you know. It was like thoughtful because it was something. I'm the weird one at work, you know. The one that's
you got it from, that's what they gave you from work? Yeah. That's
from my boss, yeah.
That's
Yeah, I thought
awesome.
that was really nice, you know, because it was kind of personal gift, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Are
you
they
wouldn't
kind of
want to hand
open-minded?
this out to everybody.
Are they open-minded? I mean, can you talk to them about the Mandela? Okay.
No. Well, no, but I always try to like sneak my little stuff in, you know what I mean?
Right.
See, here's the thing. My goal is to ultimately teach all the time a lucid dreaming class. See, I work on the weekend, so I have to do a group and stuff. And I wanted to teach lucid dreaming because, like I told you on the DL, I've worked with some patients with that because when they become sober, they start automatically having out-of-body experiences and stuff because they're just more aware. They're not sleeping well, so they're half asleep, half awake. And it just happens so much. So I'll try to get them to utilize it, you know, to their benefit. And I've had so many things happen. Like I could write a paper about it, you know what I mean? But they're not really open to that. But I'm kind of hoping for that. It's one of my intentions.
That one story you told me just about made me. It probably did make me cry. I can't. It was about the guy who I think his dad had died or something, and then he got to go. He saw him at the ball game, and
his dad had committed suicide, and they were in a fight at the time. And he was a young kid, like 17, and basically, you know, he didn't get to say goodbye, and there was unfinished, you know, no closure.
Just that alone right there is just heart-wrenching. So 17-year-old boy's dad commits suicide while they're in the not talking or mad at each other or whatever.
Exactly. And although there was so many, this is what he said out of his own mouth. He said, and although I found out there was so many things going on, like with the man's business was failing and he was having, you know, so many problems. Life was kind of crumbling around him. This kid felt like it was his fault, you know, because he was kind of being a smart aleck and got in an argument with his father, you know. So there was that, and you know,
like any 17-year-old, right?
Exactly. Poor little thing. So like, here he is, you know, 28 or whatever, and in this big addiction. I mean, honestly, that could have been the cause of the whole thing, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Trying to get away from those thoughts of the guilt and all that. Oh, it's just awful to think of.
Right. And so when he started, what I do is I don't really ever say anything first, but when they start telling me things like, I don't know, I was having some crazy dreams. Like, I mean, I was here and I'm like standing there and I'm watching myself in the bed and it's like real. It's real, man. It's real. And I'm like, all right. So I just say something little like, next time that happens, maybe you should try to go see your dad. Just think about him and, you know, see what happens, you know? And the next weekend I came back. Yeah, he didn't get to have any kind of deep conversation that I'd known about before he left. But what happened was he becomes conscious and he's in the ballpark and he's like 7 years old playing softball or something or baseball. And he looks and his dad is in the bleachers and his dad kind of gives him the thumbs up and like waves at him and smiled really big. And he said, I could, feel that my dad loved me. I could feel his love coming from him. And he said he never came to my games when I was younger. He didn't have time. He was busy with his job and all that. And it had a lot. He was just crying like a baby telling me. And I really feel like just that little tiny experience was really therapeutic to him. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And he knew it wasn't just he remembered it because he never went to his game. So.
Right. Yeah. It was really beautiful.
I love that story.
Yeah. I have one more that stands out if you want to hear it.
Yeah, tell me another one. I love these.
I think I told you all this one too, but it's just the one that it was probably one of my favorite ones. So this one guy, he'd had a girlfriend pass away. It was like a teenage love thing. They were like 16 or whatever, and she got in a car wreck or whatever. And he actually got some physical confirmation, in my opinion. But anyway, so he said, we went through the same thing. He'd started having, some lucid type experiences. And I just said, well, you need to try to, that you can go be whatever you want, try to use it. And I always tell them the video game thing, because there are lucid dreamers that actually play those video games in the astral, like for real. Anyway, so I was just telling him a little bit of all that. Well, anyway, he told me, and I told him he could visit loved ones that were deceased. So he runs into this ex-girlfriend, or not ex-girlfriend, the deceased girlfriend. And she's like in this garden. And he says, what are you doing here? And she's like, well, I'm dead. What are you doing here? And they had this big long talk and they hugged and it was just so nice to see her. And he was like crying about it because, again, there was things that were left unsaid when she had passed away and stuff. But what's so cool is when he started really crying, telling me, he said he called his mom to tell her about the experience. And really right before he could tell her, she said, you won't believe who I ran into early this morning at the grocery store. It was so-and-so, the girl's mother, and I hadn't seen her since the funeral. So that's pretty awesome.
I love those synchronicities.
Yeah. So I just think that it could be, a neat thing that they could utilize as a tool,
Oh, absolutely.
Hey,
and it's happening more and more, people talking about it.
I just thought about this just now. I could maybe offer to do a meetup group for patients that are trying to do sober living and stuff for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be good. Oh, let's see. They're saying Alan and Sandra's spider is also the symbol of web weaver who can put pieces of puzzles together.
Isn't that what we're all doing with this Mandela effect thing?
Oh, it's Sandy's power animal, huh? She's got a spider tattoo. I don't remember seeing that.
That's so cool. Well, I won't get it. I have those connections with Hillary Duff. It seems like all of these little synchronicities for me. I don't have tattoos of them, but she does. That's so weird.
That's neat.
That's neat. Jinx.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, if you have pictures, you can send them over. Feisty, check them out. Email them, I mean. Let's see here. Oh,
I'm just gonna.
Moon should be rising pretty soon, right? I think so.
We just had a full moon, didn't we? It was the cold moon.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was called?
I didn't realize that they all had names like that. They actually have a beaver moon. And I was like, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
But
So did we have any other Mandela effects though? I didn't want to miss any. I'm trying to think.
let's see. I'm trying to think. I wish Darby was here. She's so into it. I wish she did a show about it or something. I think. The chat room's not saying anything like Mandela effect stuff. I know a bunch of songs have been changing lately. Just like I can't think any specific examples, but
Oh yeah, that's how I am too, Joyce. I looked them up, but I can't remember. It's like the, you know, I don't know how many like, you know, you watch a stand-up comedian and you hear all these funny jokes and you just can't. You might remember one, you know, and it's like I just can't remember any of the jokes.
I hate that. I hate that. I will look. I will tell one that I tell everybody. I love this. I was watching. I think it might have been like Kevin Hart or someone, and he was like, "Okay, so now we've had white presidents, we've had black presidents. Now we got a flaming hot Cheeto president." Thought that was really funny.
Oh goodness.
You know who I love to watch? The comedian. In fact, he had a special on the other night. It's the one with the puppets. What, Jeff? Wait.
Oh yeah, Jeff Dunham or something like that.
Something like that. Oh, I love him, man.
Oh yeah,
He's
I like
so
that guy
funny.
too. That guy's hilarious. The
Yeah.
ventriloquist guy with all the different characters.
Oh yeah, and that jalapeno. I love the jalapeno.
I love that. I love the ones he did. He did some around. It seems like it's been a year since I've seen those, where he did some with his kids. Yeah, that was a year ago. There was no way that was his past.
Oh,
Christmas.
I didn't see. Look, if anybody gets, he had one time. I saw it on YouTube. It was like a seance. That thing was. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh.
I think I saw that one, and it had all the different characters. Yeah, and the old
And
grumpy
at the
guy.
end, he was singing a song about his grandma. It was kind of a little too friendly or something, maybe.
Yeah, I
It
want to
was
say
funny.
that he had. Seems like maybe he had a Santa Claus or something, and he was asking his kids what they wanted or something. I can't really. Oh no, it was the
I
old
didn't
guy.
see that.
I think it was the old guy asking. Yeah, asking the kids what they wanted. You know, he's got the old grumpy guy that he does.
Oh, yeah,
One of the characters. He
yeah.
was in the seance.
Forgot
one.
about him.
Yeah, he was in the seance one because he kept ruining it, or trying to. You know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that is really funny. I love that guy.
So, just for fun, because I've just been itching to. I'm holding it. This UFO card, because I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I've had so many dreams about UFOs. They're all different, you know. Even the orb white kind, the metal steel kind, all kinds. So I'm gonna see. But I had only read like the first line, which said, interestingly.
Yeah, Walter. The old guy's Walter.
Walter, yeah.
Hold on, I gotta tell you
Walter.
this. She's like, okay, Shane, this is freaking Alan is watching Jeff Dunham nonstop lately.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
I love this. That's so
We
funny.
already knew we were connected though. We're like family. Twin flames. Twin flame divine fire folks. Walter.
So
okay, so what does it have about the UFO?
I'm sorry.
Because I actually
I'm just get it out of my system. I'll be quiet.
No, because I just recently captured a UFO. So
And life is but a dream. So
yeah. So what's going on with the UFOs?
dreaming of aliens or UFOs indicates your desire to escape reality. I believe that with me, though. I do. I feel like that's really why I was so into the out of body experience for so long.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Perhaps your mind is a visionary in character. Your imagination can take you beyond the limits of the ordinary. The downside of this abundant creativity is that you may have problems fitting in with worldly expectations. There may be some lack of connection between yourself and others. You may feel different in some way and struggle to conform to the requirements of a role. This kind of dream is urging you to celebrate your uniqueness. It may also suggest that there are aspects of yourself that you have yet to discover. Dreams about robots may have a similar meaning, but expressed as a warning. You may be losing your individuality in your attempts to conform. Alternatively, you may need to be more logical and less emotional in your daily life. Or it could the opposite be true. The dream's mood will make all of this clearer. Back to what you said, whatever
Well,
you're
I was
feeling on the
excited.
inside.
I was super excited when I was capturing it. I was like, oh, check this out. Walter Cook says, okay, you freaked me out a little. Thought you were yelling at me. It's hilarious. Because I was like, Walter. And you're like, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
that's so
Did I
funny.
hurt everyone's ears?
No. Walter, someone's in the chat named Walter, and we were talking about
I'm sorry. I'm slow.
No.
I look, people pick on me about it at work. I'm telling you, I'm so sorry. Y'all gotta forgive me.
No, Walter Cook. So sorry, didn't mean to surprise.
Poor Walter. It's like, oh my God, what'd I do?
Yeah, actually, I sent that to you, didn't I, Sherry? The video Dark Wolf did about the Berenstein Bears, and he had a bunch of residue and stuff.
You did. Did everyone hear his show the other night with Chick, Mandela Effect? Who I didn't. Well, first off, her name is different to me because I followed her. I love her so much. And her name was just Chick for me. And now it's like Chick Mandela Effect. And it's just so, I mean, it's really what it is.
Is that her
That's
channel
a good
name?
for her. Yeah. And it was just Chick to me in my reality.
Okay, for me, I didn't even know she had a channel. I thought she wasn't she just on with the other guy that we had on? Yeah. That's how I knew of her because, Eileen would talk about listening to SMQAI and Chick would say this or that or whatever. And like she was always in the discussion. That's how I know about Chick was from that. I didn't know she had her own channel.
Interestingly, I did not know that Jerry he's exactly like me in the respect that it was September 2015 and the Berenstein Bears. That's interesting. But yeah, it was a great show. Y'all should hear it because it covered a lot of things that I really wasn't aware of. Like they said that there's been a little study done from different people in the community that were willing to participate in this study, and people the Mandela affected were like maybe getting a lot of or body cramps, and I have even like you get like Charlie horses or whatever in weird spots, even like in my sides and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I got one the other night on my side. I was completely comfortable laying in bed, and all of a sudden my side starts getting a cramp, and I had to move, and I was like, why am I getting this cramp right in my side, just like you're talking about?
It's so weird. Well, anyway, come to find out, every time that a little shift happens, people start getting these cramps and their magnesium level drops.
Okay, see, I correlated it with upgrades, like, but yeah, shifts. I think it's all connected.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then,
hey, Shiby's here.
Oh, Shiny! I have a present for you.
No, Shiby.
Okay.
Yeah, Shira.
Shira, I miss you, girl.
Happy
You're gonna have
New
to call me. We can have a big long talk.
So
I'm off my game, huh? I can't hear tonight. But yeah, and they also brought up your map, the map of the world with the love in the different languages and all that. And
I'm so glad you said that because it just came to me the other day. It's been about a year since that shift had happened on that map, and I needed to go look at it again because some more islands might have popped up on it. And all of you might be witnesses because I did a live stream and I pointed it out there, and if there's islands there I'm ignoring again, all of you guys will remember that at least watched that video since then, because I'm sure there's going to be a change on there because it just popped in my head the other day, and now you're reminding me. I never did go look at it. I always try to pay attention to those little things. So.
And you know what you're reminding me of? let me just tell you. So it just reminds me of, at the conference, how you had spoke about that, and it was such a beautiful talk and everything. But so then the next one, I had all those synchronicities with the dates and people's birthdays, death days, and it was like, back to the every day's a holiday thing. Well, then when this one came up, um, it was, on the internet, because of COVID and all that. And so it was so weird because first off, I don't win a lot of things, and who whoever put a Mandela effect in the chat room, and I guess if they picked it, then you win a book. And so I put in orange tang, like the drink, because if you spell it all together, it spells orangutan. And now, wait a minute, is the G gone? Wait.
No.
Oh gosh, I'm
No.
gonna like mess up my story.
No, it's orange tang. No, it's orange tang.
Okay. Well, anyway, there was something about it that I used to think it was spelled a different way. Wait. Okay, I'm just gonna move on.
No,
Anyway.
it's not orange tang again. It's orangutans now.
Right.
Or wait,
there's
that's
no
what it
G.
was. But yeah, you remembered it as orange tang. I think is what it was.
Okay, yeah. So I had like how it was.
I need to go back and look at that because it's flip flopped for me how I remembered it. But I maybe I messed it up. Oh my goodness.
My whole point is that the book that I won was a Cynthia Sue Larson book, and lo and behold, it was on Michael Jackson's death day.
What?
Yeah, so it was another one of those things where the Mandela Effect conference fell on a synchronistic, just like there was Janie Lane's and all that on the last. Yeah, it was so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it just fit right along with my little, thing that I love so much.
Yeah, because you've always had that. Like you had the one with that change to that Elton John song, and that was your.
I love that.
8. Was it your brother's? Was it 8/8 or 8/9?
It was. It would have been 11/8. Wait, November 8th. Yeah, that was the.
Oh, it was the second one. That's a trip because remember it was 11/8. It was 8/11 and then 11/8, and we realized that the numbers were backwards. We're like, what? From when we were at UCETI and then when we were at the conference. That was weird.
And then and then Janie Lane, he died on 8/11, which was the it was the SETI trip and the Mandela Effect conference. One was 11/8, one was 8/11.
Yeah, that was
one
weird.
was my brother's death day, and one was Janie's death day. But so it was 8. He died 8/11/11 in room 11/8, which is like 118. And I'm still researching all that. And one day I'm going to really tell y'all something about that. Because his birth name was John Kennedy Oswald. And I know everybody's like, oh, God, here she goes again. No, I'm just kidding. I love it, though. It's so interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yep. And I know, it's neat for me because I actually had met him and talked to him a few times, even kind of in a home setting. And I hung out with his wife a little bit. She actually just released a book about that he had been sexually assaulted when he was, a young man in the Hollywood scene trying to make it as, with his band. So he was an adult child, and how it traumatized him and everything he went through, which is also things that could have led to his addiction and everything. And I guess she wrote a book about it and stuff. This is the Cherry Pie Girl,
Right.
The song She's My Cherry Pie. That's her. And her name's Bobby Brown. And so in fact, I was kind of tripping out because she looks a lot like Greg from N5D's fiance, Allie, the one that does the little tarot cards. In the face, they look alike.
Oh, yeah?
So much. Yeah, if you know her up front, like Bobby Brown in her face looks like Allie's face. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So there's that. But I'm gonna keep investigating because I will find something cool to tell y'all one day, because I'm telling you, there's some connections there. It's interesting. But I won't get into it because I have too many times.
All right, let me see here. I'm looking at some pictures. Let me share this really fast. I'm not sure. What are we looking at here? These are pictures from ESETI that Feisty Kitty sent me. Is this a craft right here? This is wild, whatever this thing is. So we'll see what she says in the chat, because this is wild. Is this the shutter open, or? Are you able to look at the picture on your phone?
You talking to me?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the audience. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to tell you what jumps out at me about this is I don't know
Does it look like
if
a bee
anybody...
to you?
Look like what?
A bee? Like the body of a bee or something?
It does kind of look like a dragonfly, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, that really looks like a bee. I'm sorry, you had moved it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I've tried to. I haven't moved it for a while now. So.
No. Now I see the bee part. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. It reminds me of that new show that came out, that Disney Soul. It had some things that look like the pictures of the crafts that all of y'all have showed and stuff.
My daughter said that's a pretty good movie. I want to watch that soon.
I want to see it so bad.
Yeah.
But I don't have Disney Plus. I'm not that special. I have to go to my daughter's house.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was in the field by the Pleiadian Circle.
That is a cool picture, man.
It really is. Golly. It's just cool because it looks like... This looks like something too, though.
You notice all the colors in it and stuff?
Yeah. So I've moved it, so it's going to be... Yeah, it's pretty colorful. I'm about to move it on... It's delayed a little bit. I'm going to try another image here. She sent a few.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Oh, okay. She zoomed in on that. Yeah, that part there. Okay. The part that looks like a bee.
Wow. I wasn't able to see the chat room till just now. I just was reading Alva's comment. That is something. Those kids, they see everything. It's so neat. My grandson will like stand in the living room and look into the bedroom and talk to people.
Oh, did you guys hear me talking about my son Zeke seeing? And he's 13, and he's been seeing. He's almost 14 now, I guess. He's been seeing shadow beings now. He sees them really clearly. For me, it's like I just see something shadowy out of the corner of my eye. But he's looked directly at him. One of them, he says, looks like his nephew. It looked like his nephew, like out of body.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
You remember me telling you that one story about, well, wait, what's interesting about Alva's comment is that, she's saying that there's other kids seeing it too. I don't know if that's the same shadow man or she's just saying, but those kids are really seeing a lot of stuff. But what's interesting is she's 12. She's not really little. Used to, they'd say that kind of that little ability turns off at like age 6, but now everybody's starting to see things.
Right. I'm trying to get this to... Oh.
I know, like, just in my peripheral vision, it's just, I was having, like, and this is just recently, I guess I'm always a little jumpy sometimes, and I've gotten to where it's wore off because I see so much movement in my, like, it's like, just like I felt like a little child or a small alien or something peeked around the door just a few minutes ago, like the door frame, and I see it, but it doesn't even faze me anymore. I don't even startle. I'm just like, oh, there's somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I got this picture up now of this orb, and I can see a face in it. I definitely see a face. It almost, you know what it looks like? It looks
like
like
a lot of
Kermit.
faces.
Looks like Kermit the Frog a little bit. What's that song? The Rainbow Connection.
Yeah, I love that song.
So yeah, so for my son, he's seen 3 different shadow beings. One of them, he said, looked like his nephew, my grandson, like asleep. It was right around the time he would have been asleep, and it just looked like a shadowy figure that was about his size and moving like him. And then another time he saw a figure that looked like an 8-foot version of me, all sleepy, like walking to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of weird because I've had a few people say I was like really taller than I looked, or I don't know. I seemed really tall to them, or I looked tall to them in visions
I
and
had a
stuff
dream
like
that you were 7 feet tall. Remember that? I told you that.
Right,
A lot,
right.
like when I first found your channel.
Were you the one that also saw me with the elongated head, or was that someone else?
No, that was Megan with an H.
Oh, okay.
Without an H. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, I remember that. And yeah.
I
blue,
kind of
I
see the
think.
face as being an eye right here, an eye right here, a nostril, and then like a mouth here, maybe, and like a chin. I don't know, but
That's a cool picture though, you know. Yeah, I love looking at orbs and stuff like that. Speaking of which, I have to say, in fact, Feisty Kitty,
yeah.
last night I was watching Paranormal Caught on Camera, which is my favorite show right now on TV. It's on the Travel Channel. Give them a shout out. Anyway, so they have this cat walking on these people's security camera, and then all of a sudden, this beautiful little orb shoots down. You can see the tail of it and everything. When it hits the ground, it just turns into a ghost cat that's like walking behind. And I love stuff like that.
That is amazing.
They had another one on there a couple weeks ago where these people came home and the security camera in their house, when they turned the light on, they could see a cat just appear, a black cat laying on the couch. And I mean, it was just perfect. And they had 2 other cats. They usually reviewed the footage to laugh at the cats playing and stuff. That's why they had looked at the footage in the first place.
Right.
This cat was there, and come to find out, their cat had died like exactly a year ago. And this black cat was laying on the sofa, and then it, you know, it faded out, but it was there, very, very solid looking. It was really cool. So I always pay attention to those because my daughter feels like she has a great soul connection with her cat Gordo that passed away. He's a white cat. And it was kind of neat because whenever that came on, I sent her, I recorded it with my phone and I sent it to her, and it was kind of weird. She got it real late and she was like, oh my gosh, that's Gordo telling me Happy New Year.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know. She loved that cat. I mean, she used to push him around in a canopy bed. Every night she would come out of her room with the canopy bed on wheels with the cat in it, go into the kitchen and around the island and back to her room. Just one time. Give him his ride for the night. Till he got so fat he fell through the bottom. And that was that.
Let's see.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? This looks like a fireball or something, but I think it's an orb too.
Wow. That is so cool.
Let's see. Shira's saying, yes, your energetic aura is a giant. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can only kind of see light.
Feisty Kitty's comment she just put.
Oh, and then you said Travis said that too. Travis is really tall himself. He was way taller than me, I think.
I love Travis. Oh my gosh. He is so super cool.
Oh, Feisty said James Gilliland said the Bigfoot orbs are orange, just like that. We were trying to communicate with them, and then there was this orb right above us. Wow.
That's so awesome. Wow. So is that, pictures and all, is that it's kind of in the movement, or it's not 3, it's like moving a little bit real quick?
I don't know. I'm not sure how the picture was taken. So did you guys actually see this with your naked eye, or did you just take a picture and it showed up on the camera? Because I know some orbs you can see and some you can't, and they just kind of show up on the camera. So they might not know. It might have just showed up on the camera like that. But was the shutter open? My camera, the nicer cameras, you don't have to leave the shutter open. Like I got to leave my shutter open. So, but it actually created that unique opportunity to capture that whole spectacle I was able to capture. But that's beautiful.
It's so cool.
I love the texture to it, you know? It's really cool.
Yeah. Sweet.
Well,
wow, Alvin, that's so cool. Is she afraid? I'll tell you this one thing that I have learned from
I
the
saw it with the
spirit
naked eye. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is to not is to trust what you feel when it comes to, like, things like that,
Yeah.
Because I saw one shadow figure in my life, and he walked across the front of the TV, and it was like a tall shadow figure. He just walked on by, and I mean, it startled me because I hadn't had it happen before, but I was not terrified of him. I didn't have that bad, horrible feeling.
Right.
So they saw that with their own eyeballs, like just straight on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I never did. And just in case anybody's wondering, the third shadow figure my son saw, he couldn't make out what it was. He had been looking at his computer screen, turned around and was looking right at it, and it was fairly clear, but his eyes hadn't adjusted from looking at the bright screen and before it moved away or whatever. So he didn't know what that one was, but in none of the situations was it scary or was he harmed in any kind of way or anything.
Well, I will tell y'all this, and I know I've said it before, so just roll your eyes if you heard it already. But this one guy, a great author that I admire so much because he does a lot of actual scientific studies with the out-of-body experience. So, but when he was in college or something, he was staying with a family, and long story short, he went out of body and went into the kitchen and saw a short little, being or whatever. Well, the next morning when he got up, he heard the child of this couple telling his mom, I came in the kitchen and I saw a tall black shadow man, And so he said that's proof, 100% proof that just because it's a shadow figure, it's not anything negative. He said it depends on the lighting and all that stuff, whether you see a spirit, that appears dark or light. And he said, now I'm not saying they can't be negative, but I know I'm not, and I know the child wasn't, and we both looked like dark shadow beings.
Right. That's wild. Okay, so let me try to there we go. Well, just trying to make it zoom in a little bit for you.
Janice, the grandson has orb friends. He is 4. I know I have that little ghost radar, and people have different opinions of it, but my grandson used to say, Bella, turn that off. It makes the white balls come.
Right.
And there was one little orb that we'd see. I'd go in the bathroom when he'd go potty, and I'd go in, to check on him and help him out. And the little orb would like fly into someone opened the door too hard, and there was a small hole in the sheetrock.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be looking in there, and I'm like, what are you looking for? And he's like, the white ball goes in there. The white ball goes in there to go night-night. So it's interesting. There's energy all around us.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see did I miss anything in the chat here? Do you have any big plans for this year?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I just trying to keep my vibration high and focus on the positive things and not let my emotions control me, so that they control my reality and let me work on doing that a little more.
Yeah.
That's my only, little goal I got.
Yeah. I'm just trying to stay in the now, you know?
Well, yeah, me too. That's like, and it's kind of new to me because let's bring up the problem that I struggled with so long that I've asked everyone about probably is the fact that, okay, I'm going to give an example. And Eileen, if you're listening, please don't think I'm cutting you down. I'm going to ask you too. Okay. So when we were doing the meditation with Eileen not long ago, she was saying, that we need to, all stay in the now and work on that and stuff like that. And then she's like, picture your life like 5 years ahead. Where do you want to be? Or 10 years ahead. And even with the Abraham Hicks and stuff, they're like, set this as intention and all this stuff, stay in the now. And I'm just like, okay. It's better for me to try to do one or the other because it's hard. Do you know how to explain to do them both at once?
I think it's about feeling how you want to feel when you reach where you want to be, sort of be there now. So I guess that's sort of bringing that idea. But I think when you get, I know they say be specific, but I feel like for me, I don't know. And like most of the things that I would have imagined would have fallen short of what reality actually was, or I would have maybe really overshot it and it just been unrealistic expectations. So I don't really know what to expect. So I just kind of leave it open if I can. And
I'll tell you this. When I'm looking back at stuff, that happy little accidents thing with Bob Ross,
yeah.
Wind, Flame, Divine Fire, that is the answer probably because it's like Abraham Hicks would always say, like, when you're supposed to like do action or something to create whatever it is you're trying to manifest or whatever, is that, well, here's the thing, you don't want to try to because that brings resistance. That's what we learned from my new little guy I've been watching, which I'm gonna try to find his name real quick because y'all love him. Anyway, so what I was getting at is that you'll realize that you took action accidentally and end up right where you're supposed to be. I'm telling you, this is true. I've seen it with my job and everything. It's crazy when I look around at how things are. That's what's happened.
That's exactly, and when I got back, what we were talking earlier about getting out of the victim mode, when you do that and you realize everything came to teach you something, and you can sort of look at even the horrible things in that way and see that you accidentally ended up where you're supposed to be. I can see if you don't feel like you're where you're supposed to be, not being able to rely on that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm in the best place I could be right now, and this isn't where I was aiming for, so to speak. So it was a happy little accident.
Right. It's really interesting when you look at it, and it all can become so simple, and really, I think the most important thing is the vibration thing because I really feel in my heart like if there's a certain thing that just blisses you out, like for me, it's babies. I just love babies. My little grandson, he has a little speech problem, and he was telling me a story the other day, and it was just the most awesome thing. I could barely understand a word he said. Every once in a while, something would come through, and it was just so beautiful. It like brought tears to my eyes, and it's like I can think about that and find that place anytime. And then I'll start seeing other things like start coming through when I kind of can stay like that. Things that weren't even related to that. So I think it's more about staying in the blissfulness in the now and knowing your actions will all be happy little accidents and just see where you end up,
Right.
I like it easy and simple. Now, Alva, I was just telling her thank you because I was wondering if they were afraid, but my thing is, if Alpha was on here saying all this stuff that I'm saying, I know that she could like word it like 500 times better. I gotta tell you, sometimes when I come on here, I get nervous about that. She's so good at that. Alpha, you need to do a podcast.
Let's see. Okay, I guess I missed some pictures here. Let me go back here. I didn't realize they were all separate emails at first, but there's some other ones here that are pretty cool.
Oh, good.
That's
Are these all
weird.
from Feisty Kitty?
Yeah, I'm just going to move through them slowly because it's going to be delayed for you guys. So I'm just going to leave them up there for like
So
20
excited.
seconds. But it's going to be delayed for...
I cannot wait. I love her.
Yeah, it's
How's
like an
your
orb
son?
swooping around her. That's really neat.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That is lovely.
Yeah, I remember it looking like this. This is wild. And some of the pictures. Wow. Yeah, this is that same field that me and Eileen captured that one image in. Wow, look at this one. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm ahead of you guys, but you'll see.
Wow. That almost, wait, can you back up real quick?
No, it won't be.
Okay, I'm telling you,
I'm like,
y'all gonna think I'm
300.
crazy. You know, it kind of looked tan.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like a Bigfoot that's what I saw at first when it first showed up.
Oh, wow, really?
And then I focused it into like maybe orbs coming down in lines or whatever, but I saw like I don't know.
Some of these are
Maybe I
pretty
just had
wild.
Bigfoot on the mind.
See if I can go back and find that one.
Oh, wow. That is so cool.
I think this... I'll put this one back up. This might be the one here.
See on that. See, look, that almost kind of looks like a being too, like an arm. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I gotta imagine a big imagination.
Is this the one that you were talking about? Coming up? Well, hold on a sec.
Yeah, like I see his tummy in the middle and that I see two legs and that arm is that real
Bright
vivid
part?
piece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't like see his head really, but that's what I just saw when I first glanced. I even saw his feet, you know.
Now, I think I can kind of make it out. It's like the head and the shoulder, and like the feet, and then the head and the other shoulder, and then this would be like, I guess, like his hand blended down or smeared down, or maybe he was waving or something. But yeah, I can kind of see a figure right there. That could be several of them standing there, and that could be one back there.
It's interesting, huh?
You
That
just
does.
never know what
I
that is.
feel like that's some sort of beings.
Especially the way this one's kind of shiny back here. I don't know.
Ina is a pretty name, Alva. It's a pretty name.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
Well, I feel really optimistic about this year. How do you feel? You feel like we got some thicker chaos to go through before it's going to get. I feel like things might get hairy a little bit, but not in my area.
Speaking of Bigfoot, hey, David was just saying he saw Bigfoot as a kid. I've heard of so many people, because a lot of people will want to tell me stories. 'Cause I'm all into that stuff. That see these small, like Bigfoot figures that are kind of like Ewok-y, like,
Yeah. That's cool.
It's interesting.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up. Anything to plug or anything? You're just working,
I do want to plug something, actually, and I'll do it real quick.
All right.
I just want to tell y'all that I've been watching this show on YouTube, and it's called Chasing Evil. And what it is about is these two very connected, connected fellas that are using spirit boxes to go around, and they're like solving missing person cases by connecting to the spirits themselves.
Wow.
They also have other spirits that come around and join in to help. And I mean, I'll tell you though, it gets really intense because they go to these small towns where maybe the law enforcement's not cooperating with them because maybe the perpetrator was related or very wealthy and influential in the town, and they'll have to end the investigation or something because they'll be like out and they're close. And like, just to say this and I'll wrap it up, but this one was, this girl's literally saying, go to the left, go a little further, it's by the stream or whatever. And then all of a sudden she says, run through the spirit box. And then there's some gunfire and stuff.
What?
And they had to like stop the investigation and end it. And that's been on 2 of them now that I've watched that's happen in these small towns. And they'll be like, they're going around doing their investigating, and there'll be like one truck that kind of keeps circling. They're kind of, like shark like,
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting, and they're doing a really good work. I feel like they're a bit at risk kind of doing it because they're really finding things out. And I think that's beautiful to use their ability because it's so obvious that they're like really tuned into this to be able to do it, because they're literally talking through it. And lastly, to wrap it up on a nice note, what's so cool is so many of these moms will say, I just wish that I could hear my daughter say that she loves me just one more time, or say, and the first thing when they get in touch with it, they'll have the parent there and they explain to them, she may say that she's dead, if they're looking and they don't know, be prepared. And they always come through, and the first thing is they'll say, hey, mommy, I love you. And, and then everybody's crying, like, it's just really good. And y'all really should check one of those out. My favorite one was Chasing Evil, and the girl that they were looking for, his name was Ashley. And I can't remember her last name, but that'll pull it up. Chasing Evil, Ashley. Y'all will be so amazed and impressed. It's really interesting.
Feisty said she loves that show too. So is it like it's you can find it on YouTube, or is it like on a show?
Yeah, I think they're trying to like get it on Netflix or something, but it's kind of like they're doing this on their own. And they haven't really said they're trying to get anyone to pick it up, but the commenters will say, this is so good, it really should be on the ghost channels and all. But I'm gonna tell you, if something ends up blocking them, it's gonna be the fact that almost all of these cases, there'll be like big government, like the government people in the town are like blocking it.
Corruption,
It's either money or relatives, and
or maybe
really
worldview. They might think it's witchcraft, and it might be old
I don't
towns.
know. They like it. It's interesting though, because they like find bones and stuff, and then the next thing you know, they'll go back to do a session the next day, but they've called the police and all, and then they go back and the place is bulldozed.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like, it's pretty interesting. Y'all gotta check it out.
Awesome. Don't really like the name, but I guess if they're chasing it,
Well,
it's better than getting chased by it, right?
They're trying to catch the bad guys.
No, I get it, yeah.
In this game that we're playing of reality.
That's awesome.
As you would say. I'm learning all that.
Absolutely. Well, Happy New Year to all of you all, and expect good things. Thank you so much for joining me, Sherry. I can't think, you're like my bestest friend in the world. So
yeah, you've helped me so much with the fear thing. It was so bad. I mean, I wish y'all knew how bad. It was bad. Thank you so much.
No problem. So I love you. I love all of you guys, and we're going to have a great year together.
Yeah, I love all y'all too.
All righty. Peace. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.